All right, we back. I'd like to welcome everybody to another edition of the 220 Podcast, brought to you by Second to Nobody, secondtonobody.com. I'm one of the hosts, David King. My brother, Ben Wavy, still out, so y'all motherfuckers stuck with me for another week. Remember, this is, when I do this is just an opinion show, so nothing I say reflect anything else that we doing. It's just opinion, just me, giving my thoughts. I'm not speaking for the company or for anybody. I'm just, saying what I think going on. I also want to say, because, we talked a little bit of politics last time. Hold on, my phone going off. We talked a little bit of podcast last time. I also want to say, I have no political party. I know I use the term liberal, and when we talking about Bernie Sanders, and by the way, we hope Bernie Sanders get well too. You know what I'm saying? I heard he had a heart attack. It's terrible. You know what I'm saying? Get well, Bernie. You know what I'm saying? It's all politics. We're not trying to see nobody get extremely hurt. Even though we know that happens sometimes. It's a dirty game out there. But I have no political party. I'm not a politician. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I wouldn't even consider myself independent. I would just consider myself an American that pays attention to policies and money and markets and shit like that. I don't have no political party. I don't care. You can ask me about any president or any presidential candidate, and I'm gonna tell you why they bad. I don't believe anybody's good. I don't put my faith in nobody to make my life better. I believe that's up to me and what I'm doing forward to dictate that, not the government. I don't look for government assistance or government help. In fact, I would like as less government regulation as possible, because once they come in, they want to ban stuff. They want to take stuff away. They want to do this. They want to do that. You know what I'm saying? They control how you live. I just like freedom. You know what I mean? Freedom, choice. Freedom for me to be able to go out here and do this show like this, or freedom for, to be able to start a business whenever I want, or to do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy that freedom, and to me that's important and something that I cherish. So, it's not a political thing with me. I'm not speaking for no political party. You know what I'm saying? I don't have one. You know what I'm saying? At all. And I just feel like that needs to be said, because when I speak on politics and stuff, I don't want people to think, oh, he's this or he's that. I really want you to think, nothing. Like you can't tell, because that's the truth. But last week's show was good, or it was really like 2 weeks ago. It was a wild show, mixed reviews, say the least. But we back again, trying to get it in. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter at David King TV, THA DAVID THAKING TV, and also follow my brother Wavy 220. You can also follow the company at Nobody Second, and follow the Instagram Second to Nobody, and the 220 Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Also go to secondtonobody.com, get everything you need, shop with us. And we're gonna talk about a lot of shit today. Botham Jean, he was a guy that was killed in his house by the white lady cop, and now one of the witnesses is dead. I'm gonna speak on that. We're gonna get into some more of the politics and all that. I'm gonna talk about the markets again, like I always do, and the money. Some more sports. Last time I had some praise for Antonio Brown. This time, now he's not even on the team or in the NFL no more. So I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna address that probably towards the end of the show, and also we're gonna get into the hip hop albums, because a couple albums just dropped. Make sure you go get them, and of course, player of the week, clown of the week, and the game of the week coming up. So let's get into the show. Hold on 1 second. Let me grab my lighter. All right, we back. I always say that. I always intro like that. All right, but yeah. So let me start first with this Botham Jean story. So if you don't know, Botham was the victim. He was the guy that was sitting in his house when this female cop, white woman, Amber Geyer, walked in. I guess she thought it was her apartment, and she ended up shooting him. He was unarmed, and she killed him. And she was on trial for murder, and they convicted her of murder. And I remember when it happened, everybody was, at least in our community, everybody was happy because it finally seemed like justice. One of ours had got taken, and they were going to put one of theirs away. And I hate saying it like that because it makes it a whole white and black thing. I'm not racist neither. I love everybody, white, black, Mexican, Muslim, Arab, whatever, Indian. I love all people. So whatever race you are, wherever you from, listening to this podcast, you love by second to nobody. We don't care about none of that. It's a waste of time. Everybody the same. People are people. You're either a good person or a bad person. It has nothing to do with race or something like that. You know what I mean? But, and also one thing I wanted to say was, I know I'm not always right. You know what I'm saying? And if you disagree or something, that's cool. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? One reason why I love doing the show with bro, and I can't wait till we get back, is because I love the back and forth of your opinion versus my opinion. Or maybe you say something that I wasn't thinking about, or I say something that you wasn't thinking about, and we can discuss it. I'm all for open speech and free discussion. You know what I'm saying? I hate one-sidedness or, echo chambers and stuff like that. Like I want to hear both sides of everything. That's the only way you're going to gain knowledge and learn something. But back to the story. So this woman, she ends up getting convicted, and when they're at the sentencing, I guess the brother and the mother of the victim, they forgive the lady. How black people are. How we are. God and stuff. So they forgive the lady, and all this. They crying. His brother ends up hugging the lady, saying, "I forgive you." The black female cop is fixing the lady's hair. And then the judge gives the lady 10 years for murder. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be honest, this shit still fuck me up right now. Because it's like, how do you give someone 10 years for murder when they killed the innocent person that was doing nothing? And then I saw it today on the news. Like, they had the judge trying to speak. I couldn't even listen to the judge. And even the family, like, don't do that with me. You know what I'm saying? That person need to be put away. You know what I'm saying? God forbid, don't nothing happen to me. But if something like that did, you got to put that person away. You know what I'm saying? You don't get them 10 years and feel sympathetic, because they hurt me. They didn't do anything to hurt themselves. They hurt me. Or they hurt him. Both of them. Not me, but both of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Both of them, Gene. I hope I'm saying his name right. Like, that's who they hurt. Like, that's your son. Like, that's your brother. But I don't even want to do that, because I can't speak for their family. You know what I'm saying? If that's how they feel, if that's how they believe, then that's fine. But don't expect that same treatment. You know what I'm saying? If it was the other way around, and this black guy walks into the wrong apartment and shoots this white girl and kills her, it's not going to be no light sentence of 10 years. It's not going to be no family hugging him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be none of that. So, it's not going to be no cop, brushing his hair. Or the judge coming down and hugging him. It's not going to be none of that. So, what happened is terrible. And it's a travesty that, They say Black Lives Matter. I know that was a movement for a long time, whether you agree with it or don't agree with it or whatever. But when you see stuff like that, you got to wonder, what the hell is going on? Because the judge in this situation is black. So this is a black woman that, you know what I mean? Like, damn. One of your own. But it gets even more crazy because the witness who testified, Joshua Brown, rest in peace, Joshua Brown, he was killed a week after the trial. So the brother Hugs, and he's a witness that testified against Amber Guyger, who was the cop that killed Botham Jean. And now the witness, Joshua Brown, is dead. And it's just suspicious, and I'm not accusing anybody of anything or saying anything. I have 3 theories in mind, and I'll lay them out for you. The first, so he testifies, and then after the woman gets sentenced, he ends up dead. He's shot in his neighborhood, shot in the chest and in the mouth, I believe I read, and died on the scene. Nobody seen it, and even if anybody did see it, would they come forward? When somebody who just came forward and testified against a cop ended up dead. Now, there's only 3 scenarios that could be at place here. 1, he has problems in the streets. You know what I'm saying? He knows somebody. And Mama said he had no enemies, or he didn't. Nobody wanted to do anything to him. But if somebody did something to me or wanted to do something to me, my mama probably wouldn't know neither. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff you don't bring home, and that's just to throw out there to be fair. But that's just one scenario. He had problems with somebody in the streets or whatever, and they did something to him. Scenario 2 is this woman's family. I would be looking at who was in the courtroom. I think they say a gray 4-door sedan was seen leaving the scene. So I would go pull the tape from the courtroom, or not the courtroom, I'm sorry, the court parking lot, and I would see if that same car, or a car that resembled that, was in the area or in the parking lot, and then who was going to that car, if that was the case, because I would be looking at the family of the girl, of Amber Guyger, because who was in the courtroom, she gets sentenced to 10 years. They want revenge. It's a motive. So I would look at all the family that was in the courtroom, whether she has a boyfriend, a brother, father, whoever, and I would start looking there. And then, of course, the third scenario will be the police. This is a cop. This is one of theirs. This black kid comes, testifies. They lose the case. She ends up going to jail. I believe they said she was with somebody on the police force or something like that. I don't know that to be true. This is what I believe. I'm kind of going off memory right now. It's a little spaced out, but so that would be the third thing. A cop came and got retaliation, which, if that was the case, I mean, they're not going to turn on their own. It was probably an inside job. So those are my 3 scenarios for what could have happened. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't, like I say, I don't want to point to each one, but, or I don't want to point to any one in particular, but it seems like, out of those 3, it had to be something of that measure to, be what happened. And we just want to say RIP to Joshua Brown, and we pray that, and we want to say RIP to Botham Jean, and we just pray that justice gets found, something gets solved. But I mean, the likelihood of that happening is not high. I try to explain this, like, to motherfuckers, like, when we talk about black and white and racism and, black people being killed by the police, and fighting, and it has to change, and we need change and all this. Just know, like, the shit ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers is never gonna understand or have a compassion level for what we go through because they not us. I mean, you gotta understand, black people been getting killed by the police since Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. This shit been happening. It's not like it's something new. This is an epidemic that's been happening for years and years and years and years and years upon end. You can go back to, before the 2000s, before the 90s, 80s, 70s. You know what I mean? And it's still continuing to happen today. Rodney King. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like this is something new or some new epidemic. This is a part of the way it goes down. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers got to understand that. And, I don't know what the solution is, but I know that it's a problem that I think people don't understand, like, how long it's actually been going on. Like, how long black people just been getting killed by the police, and it's been like motherfuckers been marching in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers been holding signs. You know what I'm saying? It's been riots and all type of shit. Like, it ain't nothing new. And I'm not saying just forget about it. I'm saying, like, recognize that, like, whatever we doing, talking, saying this has to change, doing that shit ain't working. Because, like I say, this shit been going down since. Just go back. Just go back. Just do your history. Go back and look. Motherfuckers been getting killed by the police. Savagely. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing new. And so I don't know if we need to police ourselves. I believe we need some type of law. That if you kill an unarmed black man as a cop, it's automatically life. Like, there is no excuse. You know what I'm saying? Because really there is no excuse. These motherfuckers are scared, or they're racist, or I don't know what the hell's going on. But I know that if you look through the history, and I know this because, when I watch old documentaries, or I don't know, they got a show out right now called Who Killed Malcolm X. That's why I was bringing his name up. But even back, like, before then, like old movies that I watch, and documentaries and things like that, you just see, when you see him, like, and I'm talking about these things is in black and white, and you see him at the speech marching, and you're like, well, why are they marching? Well, a cop killed a unarmed black kid. And this shit is in, you know what I'm saying, back in the day. And so we in 2019 now, and motherfuckers is still getting killed, and we expecting some type of change or some type of compassion that's not there, that they don't feel. So I just, that's just, for whatever reason, that motherfucker is not there. They compassion what happened to so many. It's not there, and it's fucked up. I know, but that's just the reality of the situation. That, like I said, I don't mean don't do nothing about it. It just means we have to police ourselves. We have to protect ourselves, and or some type of executive order got to be signed or something. I'm gonna be honest. President Obama should have did something about this shit. If we being honest, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we always talk about prison reform and all that type of stuff, and that stuff need to be done too. But something need to be done about police brutality. And you know what I'm saying? How these people are just getting killed, and it's like, like I said, they need to start using rubber bullets or tasers or something. You know what I'm saying? Because they taking a lot of lives out here early, and it's wrong. I don't want to stick on that too long, but I'm just saying, something got to be done about that, man. But what else is going on? I don't know if you guys. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard about the motherfucking vape ban. I think I saw Chuck Schumer ass talking about it earlier. You know, the motherfuckers always want to ban something, right? That's the solution, ban. First of all, I've never smoked a Juul. I've never bought a Juul. I actually went to a smoke shop, and they got them, like when you walk into the smoke shop, they got them on the counter. And I asked them, I said, how much is one of these? One of the Juuls. The motherfuckers was like $15, $17. I said, what the fuck? You know, you better off buying a pack of cigarettes for that price. You know, I don't smoke cigarettes neither, so, you know, I just kept it pushing. I didn't need it, but I was just curious, just because, you know, I know it's done by Altria, MO. I might, you know, invest in the company. Might not, you know, right now because of what's going on, but so I just checked to see, you know, price it, peep it, and I heard the price and I was shocked at the price, and I was like, damn, that's pretty expensive, you know. And so to make a long story short, now I'm getting off topic, is they're trying to say that it's a Juul that's killing kids, and they're using this. And I want to tell you what's going on here. And I'm not trying to start a conspiracy theory. I'm just trying to tell you what I believe is going on. You got tobacco companies that want people to stop vaping because they want them to buy cigarettes. So what they're doing is, and they also want to kill the marijuana industry, which is tied into this, because a big part of the marijuana industry right now is vaping. A lot of people vape and do that. So what they're doing is they're taking the Juul and they're tying it in with vaping, and they're making it one big thing, right? And they're saying this is killing people. Meanwhile, cigarettes have been giving people cancer. I don't know, you know, if you look at you know, statistics on cancer and cigarettes and how many people have lost their lives just on secondhand smoke alone. They've never banned cigarettes. Think about that. Think about secondhand smoke. You can sit in a restaurant where people are smoking and get cancer. Like, because I ain't been to a restaurant in a minute, but you know, you usually go smoking or non-smoking. But if you in a facility where they smoking, it don't matter, right? Or if you might not smoke, but you might sit with somebody that does smoke, so y'all sit in the smoking section. You can get secondhand smoke and get cancer. They don't ban the fucking cigarette, but they want to ban the Juul and vape machines because, you know, like 100 kids died. And I don't want to take away, because, you know, that's a terrible thing. It's a very terrible thing. But, you know, they don't even know that this is really what's causing it. They can say it's smoke. They can say it's this. They don't know what other type of drugs these kids are using, or whatever's going on. I know plenty of people that vape. I don't use the vape. We talked about it on the show before, you know what I'm saying? But I know plenty of people that do, and they fine. You know what I'm saying? So to me, what this is a way for the tobacco companies to try to take away, you know, vaping and this new form of smoking, so they can have their old original traditional, because their sales are going down, because the new kids that are coming up, they're not buying cigarettes. They're buying Juuls, and they're buying vapes and CBD and all that type of stuff. So this is a way for tobacco to try to attack them. But I just want you guys, or whoever, to understand that, you know, tobacco has been killing people for years. They've never thought to ban it. Alcohol, drunk drivers. How many people have died because of a drunk driver? You know what I'm saying? A person got drunk, left somewhere, crashed, killed somebody else. They never banned alcohol. They never banned nothing. I mean, we was talking about guns, or they never banned tobacco. We was talking about guns last week. You know, rest in peace to all the kids that died. But in Sandy Hook, when all those kids got murdered, they didn't ban no guns. I mean, them was babies. They didn't ban anything, but they want to ban the vape. This isn't about what's going on. They're using statistics to circle into one thing, and the reason why I care about it is because it's going to affect the marijuana and the cannabis industry, because vaping is a large part of that, which they'll then use to say, well, this is why cannabis can't be legal. You understand what I'm saying? Because they're already going to start trying to say, well, THC is killing them. You just watch how they do it. They're going to group it all together. So that's what I'm fighting against. It's not necessarily for Juul or for vaping, it's because if you let them try to regulate this, like I was talking about earlier with government regulation, they'll take it over and they'll take it out. That's why it's so important to see what's going on here. If they're gonna ban vaping, they have to ban cigarettes, they have to ban tobacco, they have to ban alcohol, they have to ban everything that kills people. And they're not gonna do that. They're gonna keep what makes them money. And tobacco and whether it's pharma and the drug market and stuff like that, they got a lock on government, and that has a lot to do with what we see and why we see it the way we see it. But my main point is, peep game on the vape and the Juul and the difference. You know what I'm saying? If the Juul is killing people, don't group it in with the vaping and with the cannabis community, because it's all a ploy to lead to ultimate, banning of the marijuana industry. That's what it's trying to get to. And in order to stop that, you got to stop it here and say, no, we're not going to ban this until we have everything. We know what's in it, what's killing them, what's doing this, what's doing that. They're not doing that. They're just saying it's vaping. We don't know what actual vape, but it's vaping. So just pay attention to that, because people have been vaping for years and they're just fine. So, and also you got to watch what these kids are doing. These kids are on new drugs. All type of stuff is going crazy. And that's just what I think about that. But we switch over to politics real quick. I'm kind of running through everything real quick because, we're just trying to move quick. Not too quick, though. We got all day, but not all day. All right, but in politics, what's going on? Oh, they're trying to impeach Trump. Now, like I told you, I have no political party. I'm the only, my problem is this, okay? These Democrats is hurting the markets, all right? I shouldn't even say Democrats. Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff, they hurting the markets. I can't make no money while, I work off commission. So I can't make money if the markets aren't showing growth. And they're not showing growth because they don't have confidence, because they're trying to impeach the president. We had it's something going down, like, I don't know if everybody knows this, but if you know anything, like I always say, trade is what runs the world, right? That's how things start, right? That's why they have money. You trade money, you buy a car. You trade money, you buy a house. Same things like that. It's the same thing like with countries. Where all the diamonds are in Africa. You know what I'm saying? You trade diamonds, you trade them here. You trade pork, you trade, berries and fruit and you name it. Whatever it is in the country, in the world, it's done by trade. Wherever, in different parts of the world, they have different things that you can only get in that area. And you trade it with other countries to get what only they have. So that's why it's so important. And we're working on a trade deal right now with China, because if you don't know, China is the second largest economy in the world. They're right behind us as far as America. I mean, and the motherfuckers on our heels. But you see, they've been cheating the whole time, because China can list anything on the American market. And they don't have to, if they go, if you go public with a company here, you have to show your finances, you have to show, what your sales are, and you basically have to open your books up, public for the world to see. China doesn't have to do that. They're able to list their companies on the American Stock Exchange and stay private. And that's because we have bad trade deals. And then if a company wants to list over there, they have to, the company, like if I took my company to China and I wanted to list on their markets, I would have to give up my intellectual property. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would be able to, they take a portion of it, they take a piece of the company. Like, it's a fucked up deal that they have between the United States and China. A lot of people don't know this. And so basically, it's a fucked up trade imbalance. And then we have you know, basically it's a trade imbalance. I don't want to get too deep and start, I'll start motherfucking giving you numbers and all type of shit. But so basically we have a trade imbalance. We're working on a trade deal right now with China. We've been in it for a long time. I don't know if you know, Trump's done put all type of tariffs and shit on China, and he keeps adding them. And really, even though he's had the tariffs on them motherfuckers, the markets have been strong throughout. We've been able to, I don't know what we up right now, but we still up pretty good. And from where we were before the tariffs was on. And I'm sorry. I was reading, and we still up from where we was on. But now that they're trying to impeach Trump, and we're going through this trade war with China, they have the upper hand now, because now China's going to sit back and they're going to say, "Oh, okay. Well, if they're going to impeach him, why do we have to make a deal?" It looks like, basically what it looks like is it looks like it gives China leverage in the trade deal, because now, President Trump, you have to make a deal because they're going to impeach you. You need a deal. And if they don't, and a new president comes in, they're going to try to do the opposite of what you're doing, because, it will look good politically for them. So, that's how China looks at it. So when that happens, the markets and investors lose confidence. So now people don't want to invest because they don't believe we're going to get a trade deal. So they sell all their equity, which causes the markets to go down, which causes people to lose money. And that's what we have happening right now. We're losing money because people don't have confidence based upon the impeachment inquiry, based upon the trade deal with China, and it looking like it's probably not going to get done, based upon, and President Trump's wild as hell. He could lose, or he could go up. He moves the markets, with a speech. When he goes out on the front lawn and he does those little media gatherings, little media scrums, what I'm saying, the markets will go up. What I'm saying? When he tweets out, it look like we're going to have a trade deal with China, the markets will go up. That's why you got to buy in the dips. What I'm saying? When the markets go down like they were today, what I'm saying, it's a good buying opportunity. China's actually in town this week, so a lot could happen. I wouldn't even buy nothing right now because, you don't know what's going to happen this week. You got to wait to see. It's probably not going to be safe until next week when we know where we are, like with the trade deal, because I think they're going to be playing hardball. So I would just wait before to buy anything until like next week when the markets bottom out, because it's like the wild, wild west out there right now. Let me tell you. So that's basically what's going on. That's why I'm not really feeling the impeachment thing, because first of all, and this is what people don't know, it's a fake impeachment. They haven't even voted on impeachment, right? So this is what Nancy's doing, and I want people to understand, and I want them to listen. Or this is why she can't impeach. If you impeach Trump, you give Republicans subpoena power. If they have subpoena power, they're going to be subpoenaing Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, all type of motherfuckers. And then the Democrats will have it too. And then they're going to be subpoenaing Rudy Giuliani and I don't know who, all type of Ukrainian people, Russian people, whoever they believe is interfering or whatever the fuck, they say is going on. So they don't want to do that because right now they have the House majority. They could easily impeach Trump today if they wanted. If Nancy Pelosi wanted, they could go to the floor right now, vote on impeachment and vote him out and send it to the Senate. But if they do that, then they give it to the Republicans in the Senate. And then you start a whole new, they can choose to hold it till after the election. They can choose to not take it up altogether. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things that they can do. I don't know if you've seen Mitch McConnell just put out a video the other day where he was like, impeachment stops in the Senate with me. And he's fundraising off of this. So he's telling people, send me money. So when they send me impeachment, I'll make sure it doesn't go through. That's basically what he's saying. So really, Nancy Pelosi's in a hard spot because they want to subpoena all these documents and do this and do that. Really, we don't need any of that. You know, everybody's talking about whistleblower this, whistleblower that. There's a fucking transcript. There's a transcript to the phone call. You can make of it whatever you want. You know, I don't really know who made Joe Biden so fucking special. It's like every time somebody says something about Joe Biden, they're like, oh, don't say nothing about Joe. Oh, Joe Biden didn't do nothing wrong. Look, I like Joe. He was Obama's president or vice president or whatever. But, you know, I mean, I think he should be able to answer for himself if the guy wants to be president. Let me tell you something. All these same fucking politicians are the same people. It's the Clintons. It's the Bidens. It's the fucking Bushes. It's the Romneys. It's the motherfucking... all these same people. It's the same people from 30 fucking years ago. All right? I don't hate Joe Biden or dislike Joe Biden. I think he's a cool guy. He's funny. But if the motherfucker was, doing whatever, just let him speak for himself. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand this whole, defend Joe Biden. But I'm not here to criticize Joe Biden. I'm here to talk about the motherfucking. I'm not here to criticize anybody. I'm just telling you what I see. So Nancy Pelosi, and I don't like this woman either because she's been here for years. And this is what I mean when I say it's the same people. They've been here for years. They've never done anything. When has Nancy Pelosi ever done anything to change your life? But she's saying, give me power back and I'll fix it this time. There's the whole list of them. All the same people. Joe Biden, he was here when Clarence Thomas. What has he done? He was vice president. What'd he do? These people do nothing. Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton. What'd they do? Bill Clinton was actually an all right president. I take that back. He was an all right president. But Hillary Clinton was a terrible Secretary of State. You know what I'm saying? And this woman wanted to be president. I mean, I don't know. And I'm not saying Trump is great. He's clearly racially insensitive. He clearly doesn't think before he talks. But, I didn't vote for him. I didn't put him in office. I just adapt to whoever's in there, man. And I'm saying what's going on right now. The media is fake as hell. On all sides, One side is Republican, one side is Democrat. You know what I think each news network should do? Imagine if you had a CNBC, or not CNBC, I'm sorry, shout out to the Money Channel. Imagine if you had a MSNBC Democrat and an MSNBC Republican. And you can just have both networks, but strictly for party lines. Because what you got right now is, I don't even know what the fuck is going on with the news. You know what I'm saying? The shit's crazy. I follow it because I follow the money. So, in a way, I get paid to watch what's going on, which is great for me. I don't really have to do much, thank God. But so I follow along with what's going on. So I watch everything. I don't watch only CNN or only MSNBC or only Fox News. I watch everything. I got AT&T. So if you got AT&T, they got this news channel where you can click it and it shows all the news channels. So I watch all the news channels, and they do it with the sports channel too. But I read the business section before the sports section. So I watch all the news channels at once. You know what I'm saying? I can just click on which screen I want. So I'm paying attention to everything that's going on. And I'm like, okay. And no news network. Listen, CNN is the worst. And I'm sorry to all the people that's listening that watch CNN. They're the worst. They're pretty fucking fake. You know what I'm saying? I just want y'all to tell the, like, if these people were such a good, and Fox News, listen, I don't know what to say about, like, Fox News. Like, I don't know what to say about Fox News, but MSNBC is terrible. They're fucking terrible. Mika and Joe in the morning, they're fucking terrible. You know what I'm saying? They're fucking terrible. And I mean, these people are bad for the country. When you talk about, they promote all this scare tactics, they promote this negative. They never promote nothing positive. They're never showing nobody how to make no money. They're never showing nobody the good things that's going on in the world. These people are stuck on making up bullshit. Let me ask you a question. If people really believed that Russia and all these other places interfered in the election, then why the fuck are we about to have another one? How are we going to have an election if you telling us other countries are interfering? Don't you think that's something they should address? And then they attack this war on wealth. Like they don't want people to have money. Let me tell you something. These people that are running the government are stupid as fuck. Who do you think is smarter? Who do you think is smarter and has more power? Nancy Pelosi, who's just old white woman, Speaker of the House, or Mark Zuckerberg, who's the fucking CEO and creator of Facebook, who has built up profiles of everybody in the fucking world? Okay? Think about that. Mark Zuckerberg has a built up profile of everybody in the fucking world. He knows what you click on, what you see. And by the way, nobody told anybody to make a profile with him. He didn't force anybody to make a Facebook. They did it on their own. Same thing with Google. I want y'all to understand. These are the top CEOs in the world. Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, now I'm going to go to the motherfucking Google CEO. Everything you've ever searched for. Everything you've ever looked for. You got a built-up profile on you. That's Sundar Pichai, the Indian guy, the CEO of Google. That's real power. What he got. Okay, he knows everything anybody's ever searched for, what computer it came from, the location, 3D. Any question need answered. You think those people are smarter than Congress? Or you think people in Congress are smarter than those guys? You think Lindsey Graham and the rest of them motherfuckers are smarter than these guys who are putting this type of shit together? The motherfuckers in Silicon Valley? These are the people that should be leading the country. You know what I'm saying? You got Jamie Dimon, runs the biggest bank in America. It might be the biggest bank in the world. I think Chase is JP Morgan. I think it might be the biggest bank in the world. Okay? These are people it's the second biggest bank in the world. The biggest bank in the world is the Bank of China at 230 billion. JP Morgan Chase is the second biggest bank in the world with 209 billion. And Jamie Dimon run that. Like, these is the motherfuckers that's, who else? Jack Dorsey, your Twitter page, all your friends that you follow. You know what I'm saying? Everything. These are the motherfuckers that really have, like, if you really wanted to go to war with somebody, or you wanted to be up to date or know about technology, or who you think's more, you think the people in the CIA, like, come on, man. The real motherfuckers is people like that you don't even think about. You know what I'm saying? So, and maybe people do think about them, but look at Jeff Bezos and Amazon. He can show up to you. He has people walking into your house and dropping off groceries. You know what I'm saying? They're putting cameras in houses. Like, come on, man. I'm getting a little crazy on this motherfucker. I'm sorry. But I'm just saying. Like, I'm trying to tell people that these people that we have in Congress, Republican and Democrat, I'm only saying the Democrats right now because they're the ones who's pushing impeachment and driving the markets down. And I don't have no problem with if you want to impeach or whatever. But the impeachment's not real because they're not going to vote. And they're not going to vote because they don't want to send it to the Senate. And until they vote, Trump has executive privilege because he's the president. So, and I'm not saying that to defend him. I'm telling you the facts. So they're lying to people. Don't get hyped up thinking he's about to get impeached, because that's not going to happen. What's going to happen is we're going to continue losing money because investors in the markets aren't going to have confidence. Now I'm talking to my investors. I'm telling you why you're losing money right now. Okay? Because the economy is slowing because of a lack of confidence. We have tariffs on. We have a trade deal that's not going to look like it's going to be completed, which is not good. And we have a president that's on the verge of getting impeached, but not really. But the whole saga emboldens China, as well as other countries, to not do deals with us as they should. It's fucked up. And like I said, I'm not here to push any political agenda. I'm just here to hopefully make money. I mean, it's a slowing economy, and it's rough. I told you guys on the last show not to worry about a recession. And you don't have to worry about a recession, but what you do have to do is get in and get out. You know what I'm saying? Get in and get out. I'm going to give you a couple little quick plays that I would make. I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to... All right, no. Never mind. I won't get a quick plays, but I will say this. You know, like I already told you, don't buy nothing until next week. I bought a couple things today. It was up, then it was down. So the markets is crazy right now. Everything's fucked up. Sorry, I'm a little all over the place. Like I said, I started to get a little wild. What else is going on? I'm gonna get off the politics. I know motherfuckers be tripping when I get on that. We don't want to get too political, but I feel like it's something that should be talked about. And you know, all I'm saying is focus on making the country better. You know, lower taxes. You know, create jobs. You know, create consumer confidence. Create home buyer confidence. Work on stuff like that. Get infrastructure. Fix the roads. You know what I'm saying? Come up with an immigration policy. Like, do that. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying do that. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all motherfuckers is doing a whole bunch of nothing. Now, I don't know why people think, you know, that life is going to switch if when somebody new comes in. You know what I'm saying? You know, my life is not much different than it was when Obama was in office. And we love Barack Obama, by the way. First black president. Everybody always say, you know, what is Obama's accomplishments? What is it? His accomplishments is he was the first black president. And because of him being the first black president, people like Kamala Harris and Cory Booker run and have a serious chance and have a serious opportunity. It could potentially be a vice president. You know what I'm saying? So he opened the doors going forward. Now, would I have preferred if Obama was a little more outspoken and did what the fuck he wanted like Trump does? Absolutely. Because it seems like we could have got more stuff done for our community. You know, like, this is what I'm saying. Just get stuff done. You know, nobody criticizes Kim Kardashian when she goes and she gets these people out of jail and how she does it or whatever like that. But at least she's getting something done. Like, let's get something done. That's all I'm saying. Let's get something done. Let's not, you know, we could fight and bicker and do this all day. Racist this, racist that. Man, listen. If you waiting for white people to stop being racist, you're going to be waiting forever. And you're going to be dead. All right? And I'm not saying all white people are racist or this, that, or the other, or racially insensitive, whatever it is. But I'm saying motherfuckers don't care, man. Motherfuckers look at you like, you know, they don't care. You know, we as a community, as black people, we constantly seek approval from white people. Even like when I was talking earlier about giving this woman 10 years, you forgave her. Wow, you forgave her. You know, man, great. Don't expect that same treatment. Like Malcolm X used to say, praise God, but pass the ammunition. That's what the white man says. You know what I mean? So, I'm just saying. Man. I'm just trying to get this money. You know, just trying to get this money, man. I'm a proud capitalist. Just like college athletes getting paid. Right? What is that? That's capitalism. They're getting paid off their likeness rights. That's what we want. That's what we want. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want. Because, like, a lot of times, I feel like motherfuckers be feeling like we being held back. But I want to put something to you in a different analogy. You know, if you're an NFL player or a rapper or whatever you are, and you get a big contract and they pay you millions of dollars, they just put you on. You know what I'm saying? I'm a billionaire, right? I give you a $60 million contract. I'm putting you on. Now, what you do with that is entirely up to you. But you can't say you ain't have. And it's the same thing with anything. It's like if I had a pound and I give you 2 ounces out of it. Is you going to smoke them 2 ounces, or is you going to bring it back and have some more? It's the same thing with money. If I give you 10 million, what you do with that 10 million? Are you going to turn that 10 million into 15? Are you going to come back like I spent the whole 10? I ain't got no more. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that's where motherfuckers is lacking. There is nobody's holding anybody back. Niggas is fucking the supply up. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is making millions of dollars and then going to spend it all. No different than a motherfucker that got a whole bunch of work and smoke it all. You know what I'm saying? It's the same shit. You just gotta know how to make money work. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a genius. I learn new shit every day. You know, I'm constantly studying. I'm constantly reading, and you know, I just feel like that's what you got to do. But back to college athletes getting paid. My point in that is that's capitalism right there. That's ability to get paid off your likeness. You know what I'm saying? That's why capitalism is a good thing. That's why making money is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm pro money over here, man. I'm pro money because that's what we trying to get. And that's what people want. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell everybody, you know, I'll be telling them all the time, you need to invest, because when you invest enough and you got enough built up and your portfolio is green, it's good for your mind. I had some days where, even last week when the markets went back up, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy. Like they say, money don't buy happiness. When I see them numbers go up, I'm pretty happy. When I see them numbers go down, I'm not. That's why I be angry at about the politics and shit, because I be losing money. It's not a question of vote for this person or vote for that person. It's a question of who's fucking up my money. You know what I'm saying? For real. But yeah, no, that's why we for college athletes getting paid, because like I said, it's a form of capitalism, and that's what people need to understand. If you right now you can start a website, you can start selling your product. That's a form of capitalism. If you got a show, you can start it and you can do it, and boom, that's a form of capitalism. Everybody needs to stop this socialism. Like, it's not nobody's responsibility to take care of everybody. You know what I'm saying? If we want to take care of the world and everybody and everybody in the world, you got to worry about the people in China that are being held in those motherfucking concentration camps. You got to then take care of the people in North Korea. You got to then take care of the people in Africa, where the women are getting beat in the streets, and all these places all around the world. And you start to realize it's more problems than you can fucking handle. The world is not a nice place. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you will be able to go on with your life and protect your family and the things that matter. You know what I'm saying? It's not a point of fixing everything. You know what I'm saying? That's God's job. You know what I'm saying? It's the point of taking care of yourself and being all you can be, and then helping who you can on the way. But you're not going to be able to help everybody. And it's not everyone's responsibility to help everybody. Mark Zuckerberg had a quote where he said something like, no one deserves all this money. He's talking about all the money he has. I think he's giving away all his Facebook shares. And good for him. But that's his prerogative. Some people don't need a lot of money. If it's his prerogative to say, you know what, I want to give away all my money, let him do that. But don't tell the next person they have to do that because he did. Or if you want to pay for health care for everyone, you do that. Don't tell everyone they should have to do that. Why? Why is it my responsibility to make sure the next person lives a good life when I'm trying to live a good life myself and I'm struggling? It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. You know what I'm saying? It's this moral, type of thing. I'm trying to take care of my own family right now, okay? And that's what I'm focused on. And, miss me with the socialism. We pro getting money over here. But shout outs to LaMelo Ball. Here he got a whole bunch of scouts looking. He might potentially could go the number one pick. We talked about Lonzo on the last show. I wanted you guys to know that I'm the opposite on Lonzo and LaMelo. So I think LaMelo is, I would pick him number one. I like him. I like LaMelo Ball. He has the confidence and he wants to be a hooper. You know what I mean? He has the confidence and he wants to be a hooper. And I love that. Also, shout out to my boy Izzy Adesanya, new UFC middleweight champion, knocked out Robert Whittaker in the second round. Fucking beautiful performance. Entrance was amazing. Came out dancing. He really knocked him out twice. He knocked him out at the end of the first round, and then he knocked him out again in the second round because they could have stopped it at the end of the first round after that one. I mean, he was out. So, shout out to Izzy Adesanya, new UFC champ. Next up, BMF, Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz. I don't know who's gonna win. I gotta think about that, but that shit's gonna be ridiculous. Shout outs to both of them. Can't wait to see that fight. Richard Sherman and Baker Mayfield got some drama going on. Richard said he didn't shake his hand. Then the video came out, he did shake his hand. Richard Sherman be popping off, but Baker Mayfield, he going through a hard time right now. They're not winning out there in Cleveland. Shocker. The Browns aren't winning. Shocker. Can you believe it? Hey, yeah, so, shouts to Baker. He got to get right. Shouts to Richard Sherman and them. Jimmy Garoppolo, undefeated. Nobody's talking about it. Tom Brady, undefeated. A lot of people talking about it. Christian McCaffrey should be the MVP. He's actually my player of the week. It was Patrick Mahomes after he did that, after Patrick Mahomes in Detroit led that comeback, but then he came out this week and lost. So he lost his position. Christian McCaffrey, he's my front runner for MVP. Panthers doing good again. Shouts to all my Charlotte people. Like I said on Twitter, if we can get Cam back by November 11th, I think, when we play Green Bay, we can make a serious run. Don't hold me to that, though. My opinion is subject to change every show. What else we got? Daryl Moore. Or do we want to touch on AB? All right. Let me touch on AB real quick. So last week on the show, I was giving props to Antonio Brown. I was calling him, this and success story, the biggest star in the league, and a lot of things. And he had won. Since then, he's been cut. He's been released from the league. He's not on the team right now. And it's a very frustrating situation because I'm a very big fan of his. Now, before I keep going on, I want to say that I don't agree with all his actions, right? So, everything that he did, I wouldn't have did, nor am I saying is right. But I want to take everything and I want to put it into perspective so we understand what was happening. First, I believe he had a controversy over the helmet. He didn't want to wear the helmet. And he threatened to retire if he couldn't get his helmet. Now, obviously, he wasn't going to retire. I think this was something he was doing for the league, for purposes of negotiations to try to get something that he wanted, let alone still the media blew it out of proportion and made it this big deal. Antonio Brown says he's going to retire if he doesn't get his helmet. Everyone knows he's not going to retire, but they make it into this big deal. So they turn it into a criticism of him because he wants to wear his own helmet that he's been wearing since he came into the league, and they switched the helmets in the league. Now, for some reason, people assume that this is a big deal, And that for him wanting to wear his helmet and is trying to appeal, because he's going through a court. There's a court system within the NFL that you appeal for helmet, or not for helmets, but that you go through when you want, something challenged or whatever. So he's going through this through the right way and through the right system. But the media takes his complaint, blows it up, and now all of a sudden everyone is criticizing him for a helmet. Fine. You know what? Shut up. Put on the helmet. Wear the helmet they want you to wear, and just shut up. Right? Okay, fine. That's what they say, right? You're making money, just wear the helmet. You have no opinion, you have no voice. You have to do what they tell you. That's what they want you to believe. So we keep going. What's on to the next one? I believe he misses a practice. Okay. I don't know how many players in the NFL misses practice, but I guarantee you it's a lot of them. They fine him 6 figures. If you don't know what 6 figures are, that's 100,000 or more. So you miss a practice and you're fined 6 figures. He then gets upset and takes his complaint up to the general manager, which I believe is Mike Mayock. They get into it. No one really knows what is said. There's mixed reports. I can't tell you what was said, what wasn't said. But now that he's upset over a fine and he gets into it with the general manager, that's a problem. If Tom Brady or anybody else gets into an argument, it's fine, whatever. We get through it. It's fine. It's fine. The general manager is so hurt and embarrassed at what Antonio does. So what does he do? He tries to snake him out his money. Right? Because that's what I want you guys to realize. That's what all this is over. Everybody's saying, Antonio, you're a clown and you're this and that. What is it over? It's over money. Well, we've been talking about the whole show because this is a pro money show. At least when I'm on it. We gotta wait till bro get back, and then we can go whichever way you want. But while I'm here, we talking about pro money. So now, what does he do? The white man says, and not to get racist, but I mean it's a white man who's holding money over a black man's head in order for him to do what he wants him to do. If you don't do what I want you to do, if you don't put that helmet on, if you don't pay this fine that I want you to pay, I'm not going to give you your contract. Okay. Fine. So what do? We work it out. Antonio comes in and he apologizes. He says, okay, fine. Boom. We think it's all good. It's all good. Then they void his guaranteed money. Like I said, they're still fucking with this dude's money. They're holding money over his head in order to get him to do what they want. He hasn't done. What has he done? He's got into an argument with the GM and he's filed an appeal to wear his own helmet. And somehow that warrants taking away $30 million. Somehow he's the worst guy in the world. And I'm not saying he's perfect, because he's not. He does a whole bunch of wild shit that he probably shouldn't do. But I'm just saying, what people are really complaining about is a helmet and a missed practice. That's what all this is over. Well, we're going to get into all the other stuff when we get to the Patriots part. So a helmet and a missed practice. Now they void his $30 million. When he finds out what they do, because they're going to send him out there to play on Monday, risk injury and everything else, and it's potential that he doesn't get his money. He says, absolutely not. I'm not going on that field, which he should say, because they're not paying him what he's supposed to be making. And they tried to trick him out of it. So he says, trade me or cut me. They cut him. Now everybody's saying he's a clown. The clown move would have been to go out there and get hurt after they had snaked you out of your contract, because that's what they did. So we go to New England. Now, this is where we was 2 weeks ago. He's the biggest star in the league. His name's everywhere. He gets signed by the Patriots. They have the game. He's out there. He's scoring touchdowns. And all of a sudden, the women come out the woodwork with the accusations. Now, remind you, the owner of the team that's cutting him has been accused of things. Actually has been caught on videotape of these things. He then, after a game, the game is won. They won a game. He comes out. He scores a touchdown. He's caught a whole bunch of passes. He's balled out. Everything's good. Out of nowhere, they cut him. you turn on report, Antonio Brown cut. I don't know what he's done. And then they say, well, it has to do with these allegations against him. We were just talking about Trump earlier and motherfucking all that stuff. The president of the United States has, I don't know how many women accusing him of sexual misconduct. But don't let that nigga play football. Think about that. The president of the United States has a numerous amount of women accusing him of misconduct, but they don't want to let that nigga play football. So basically, you can be president and they can accuse you of anything, but you can't play football. We don't know if it's true or not, but they took away the man's job, his livelihood, his money, and somehow he's the clown for being accused of something that may or may not be true. Somehow he's the guy. And you know it's so funny because a lot of people will say, well, look, he missed out on 30 million, and look, he missed out on all his money. And then, okay, you're right, but guess what? Have you ever made $1 million? He has. Can you profit off your name? He can. This whole situation he's in right now is monetizable, if you think like that. Antonio Brown is in a position right now where he's about to sue the NFL. 3 teams, I believe. The Patriots, the Raiders, and the Steelers for payments owed. He's probably not going to win those lawsuits. I don't know. He might. Maybe they come up with a settlement deal where they give him some money. But he's at war with the NFL, and he's in a situation right now where he can document this whole issue. You know what I'm saying? It can be it could have a book written about it. He could turn this into a movie. There's so many things that he can do. He could do a series and sell this series to Netflix. AB versus the NFL. It's so many things he could do to monetize his name where he doesn't have to take hits in the NFL and risk head injuries and broken bones and stuff like that. It's plenty of things he can do to make money. He don't need that's what I'm talking about, of them holding that stick over your head and saying, do what I want or you're not going to get this. When you got your own, they can't do that to you. AB got his own. They can't do that to him, and he going to get more because he got a name and he got a situation and he got likeness and he's somebody. Eventually somebody going to want that interview. He filming all this. Eventually somebody going to want that documentary. Eventually somebody going to want that story. You know what I'm saying? He got a beautiful home. You understand what I'm saying? Don't sleep. Just because he ain't get that bag there don't mean he can't get it somewhere else. And don't let him get back in the NFL because you know who the best. So my point is, my man made some mistakes and he not perfect, and he need to sharpen up and he need to wise up and realize that opportunities and things can be took from you. But to act like he don't have a case for feeling the way he do is crazy. And I just feel like that just need to be said. Well, that's my stance on it. Really, that's how I feel about it. So shout outs to AB. You know what I'm saying? Keep working. I know he's gonna be back in the NFL. I don't know what team he's gonna play for, but I know he's gonna be back soon enough once all that stuff go away. If it go away, I don't know the case. I don't know if he did. Anything. Like I say, I'm not here to say that, but I'm just here to say that he's Antonio Brown. He's still in position to monetize himself. He's still in position to start something and build something off of his name. And that's something a lot of people that can't do, but they'll call him a clown. He's still a millionaire. He's still in position to make more millions and do more things that other people can't do. He got a head start on motherfuckers that people wish they had. So before you sit up and crack on that motherfucker, get on his level. You know what I'm saying? that's all I gotta say about that. But Daryl Morey sent out a tweet for freedom, and Daryl Morey, he's the owner of he's not the owner of the Houston Rockets. I believe he's the general manager of the Houston Rockets. And he sent out a tweet in China. I'm switching to the NBA and I'm moving quick because we about to get to the end of this shit. But Daryl Morey, who's the NBA general manager of the Houston Rockets, he sent out a tweet that said freedom, fight for freedom, because they have all those riots going on in China right now because other people are fighting for freedom and equality. I don't know what's going on exactly, why they're rioting, but it's been going on for weeks. It's fucked up. Police are shooting people. They're fighting in the streets. It's real crazy. And he sent out a message in support of the people fighting. China got upset. They don't want to do anything with the NBA that has to do with the Houston Rockets. It's a big beef right now between NBA and China. And now, usually if this was America, you could say fight for your freedom, fight for your rights, and people would, support that and say, okay, they're fighting for individual freedom or whatever. But in China, the government is, I believe they call it a communist government. And, they dictate everything. President Xi is president for life. And, he's like, fuck that. You're not going to be doing that shit over here in China. That's what I'm talking about when I speak on everything that's happening. Like, if you want to be so concerned about all the negative stuff that's happens here, you better be worried about it in the whole world. Don't just wake up and look at this and say something. Make sure you look at it everywhere. And if you're not ready to do it everywhere, then just mind your fucking business. But, so it's the NBA versus China, and now the NBA is looking bad because, instead of coming out and saying it's okay to fight for freedom and we stand behind our general manager saying stuff like that, they have to walk the line because they get billions of dollars from China. So, now it's the thing of, are you going to help the Chinese people fight for their rights, or are you going to, shut up and take the money? So that's what's going on with that, with the NBA, China, Daryl Morey, the Rockets, and all that. Hip hop album review. Baby album came out. Kevin Gates album. Young M.A. came out. Kevin Gates shit is fire. Gates shit always fire. I told y'all before, he's my favorite rapper. And the first 2 tracks on that I'm Him, you know what I'm saying? That's really all I play is the first 2 joints back to back. And Baby album out. Shout out to Baby. He number 1. Representing Charlotte. And he doing a great job. I ain't had a chance to listen to Young M.A. album, but I know it's fire because she fire. And Baby, what was I about to say? I want to give him a shout out real quick because he got a great team. I like the way they move and and their production and everything they doing. They on top. So shout out to him. Shout out to Christian McCaffrey, Player of the Week. The Clowns of the Week gotta go to Pelosi. For making the markets go down and the Dems. Sorry, y'all. And the game of the week is going to be the Texans and the Chiefs. Deshaun Watson versus Patrick Mahomes is going down on Sunday. So look out for that. And this has been another episode of 220 Podcast. I'm the host, Daddy King. Follow me on Twitter, Daddy King TV. Follow my brother, Wavy220. Hit us up, secondthenobody.com. Email us, secondthenobodyentertainment@gmail.com. And or the 220 podcast at gmail.com. Follow 220 podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Second Nobody on Instagram. It's been a fun show. I've been wild. Hopefully my brother back next week. If not, I'm trying to get a guest. We're gonna keep it rolling, man. We're just gonna keep doing. I'm gonna be here every Tuesday, 9:00, one way or another. Whether you just get me, whether you get my bro. Show gonna keep improving. We're gonna keep it going. Please follow, subscribe, like, comment, share it, and do all that stuff. I know we lost a couple people last time. I guess they didn't like when I got it a little too political. Guess what? I'm coming back at you motherfuckers again. And next week, Tuesday, 9:00, I will be coming back at you motherfuckers again. So fuck with your boy, Daddy King. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what you think. And I'll catch y'all next week. We out.